it's natural to feel a little bit awkward about something like that. We're a bit aware of using the right terminology and not saying the wrong thing, so perhaps a little bit worried and a little bit awkward without having any structure in place.
I think it's our own personal feelings were quite hard to get over, and I think it was a case of where we just had to sit down together and say, actually, this isn't about one person's inner feelings about discussing the anatomy or behaviour or what children have been through. It was more a case of discussing how we all feel collectively and knowing that we're all in exactly the same boat.
I think one of the most important things was, as we hadn't taught it before, I was only in my second year of teaching, you want to make sure that this is something that's informative and appropriate, so something the parents are aware that we're saying to their children, because you don't want children going home and saying something that being a shock to the parents. So making sure that we were confident, that we were teaching the right thing, and that the parents were aware and happy with what we were telling the children.
I think it's a useful programme because it's very clear and structured, it's quite organised, and you've got 4 set objectives and lessons planned out for you, and yeah, it's just very clear and easy to follow. You can look at it week by week, and then you can look at the particular week you're teaching, which is really useful, and good resources as well, clear resources available.
I think it was nice to have a whole school approach, so we made sure we were teaching it at the same time. And we also had the head delivering assemblies, so we knew that everyone was learning about the same sort of thing, and that it wouldn't be one child going out to the playground and saying something that wasn't what we were all learning about. It was nice to have a really progressed and focused structure.
And we also had the in-service training day where the staff from Protected Behaviours came in and spoke to us, and we were able to share some of our thoughts and feelings and alleviate any fears, as well as looking at the whole school approach and making sure that the PSHE curriculum was covered across the school from reception to Year 6. I think with the clear structure of the book, the resources that are available, the clear definition of terms for everybody, and knowing that there's a clear progression, I feel much more confident in delivering protected behaviours, and we're just about to go into our 3rd session, and I'm not afraid at all.
I think it's fair to say most teachers in the school would probably rate themselves as quite lacking in confidence before the programme came into existence, so maybe rate ourselves as a 2 or 3 out of 10, and it's probably gone up to at least 8, 9, 10 out of 10, I'd like to say.
I think that I personally was surprised lower down the school at the maturity of the children, because we felt that this could be something that they could be amused by, or you didn't really know how the children were going to take it. I think they were quite mature and they enjoyed talking about things that they actually knew about, but they didn't actually have the language to express before. So it was really nice for them to feel confident, and you could see that actually they felt more confident at the end of lessons, which was nice.
I think I was surprised at their maturity. They took it on board, yeah, very positively, and I think maybe because it didn't feel too much of a surprise to them. The objectives and the context of what we're learning about links so well to PSHE, PSED, EPR stuff that we do so regularly, so it wasn't really a surprise to them.
And I think our confidence in using this terminology means that the children feel free in talking to us about things, about any concerns they have or any worries, and we don't have to sit there and do it in a very quiet, very confidential way. It's almost like we're as confident as they are in talking about themselves.
And also perhaps the fact that the parents have been involved, they've already had a meeting, they've been, told about what the children are going to be learning prior to the learning taking place, and then hopefully a lot of them have had a chat with the children at home, so again it's not a surprise to the children. They may have been made aware of some of the topics by the parents at home, and it kind of links quite well to that home and school learning.
Your hair gets sticked up.
Your palms start to get sweaty.
Our hearts beat faster.
Your knees get wobbly.
Our private areas are covered up with underwear. When someone wants to see it, you need to tell a teacher or say no.
Sometimes you can get yourselves into fun situations, but they can also be scary, like a roller coaster. But sometimes you can get yourself just into scary situations, which you can just say no to.
I know my rights, and I know when I don't feel happy with something. I always feel that I can say no. Whatever it is, I can always say no.
Yeah, I've learnt about my early warning signs. Sometimes they are good or like a roller coaster, as you said, but I know when they're bad and I should listen to them and never be afraid to talk about when you do get them.
When I don't feel safe, I've learnt that I can always tell a trusted adult who works at this school, and I'll never be ashamed of what I want to talk to them about.
Yeah, you should never hide anything that you want to talk to somebody about, even if it's not the most comfortable thing to talk about. You should never hide it. And if the person that you're talking to doesn't listen, just go to somebody else. You should never have to hide.
Well, we've been making these little friendship men and we're doing it for protective behaviour. And they say words on it, and if I was scared, I'd want the person who I talk to be caring, who listens, who gives advice, who understands, who's honest, and who's by my side, and who's protective. And yeah, that's what we've been doing.
The hand, because you can always trust your top 5.
I didn't personally have any concerns because I've got 2 teenage children, so we've been there before. But I do know quite a lot of the parents did have, so it was nice to be able to be included in that and also help support them with their questioning some of the things that they were dealing with, like names of body parts. Some of the parents were embarrassed, so it was very noticeable we could help each other get one mutual name for things. Do you find that?
Yeah, I agree completely. I think the only thing I heard was people were concerned as to why it was being brought in, but I think they've all embraced it by coming to the workshops and understanding what's going to be taught to their children.
And I think the children went home, didn't they? And they've made parents become involved in it because they're coming home, they're talking about buckets with feelings in and how their feelings are, and then trying to express feelings. And certainly from my point of view, it was more of a reminder really that when you have children that can communicate effectively, it's fine because they can start telling you how you feel. But those children who are either underdeveloped or have communication issues or just not there yet, they don't have the appropriate words, so they can't really explain. It's like when a child tells you, oh, I've got a headache, and in actual fact it may be something totally wrong. They've actually cut their leg, but they can't see. You just don't know.
I think like you though, because I've got older children and younger children, the younger ones tend to know everything the older ones do unintentionally anyway.
And that can be tricky in itself though, can't it? Because then our children at a younger age know probably more and sometimes not all the things you want them to know. So, but because we've dealt with them, I personally feel the younger you deal with them, it just becomes part of life. We've never used made-up names for body parts. We've only used proper, almost medical names because I've had that background. So it doesn't matter, but I've been aware that I've also taught my children, well, it's not always appropriate to say that word in front of everybody because they might not know it. So, yeah, it's quite good that they all know now, or they're going to all know the real names.
They do.
nowadays everybody's much more open than we used to be.
Yeah.
In all areas, you know, what our sexualities are and our acceptance and tolerance of different behaviours and sexuality. That children are, I think they're more comfortable with things that we've been uncomfortable with as we were adults when we were children. So hopefully that, you know, that acceptance at an earlier age is going to be better. So what I'm hoping really in the future that school brings is maybe the children that come in at reception stage, I know they're sent home packs and things, and perhaps we could send home, you know, they could send a pack that just says, oh, this is a picture of your body, maybe you could draw things on this, there's that awareness before they come into school. We could build on that perhaps as they come into the school.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see it every year.
Hmm.
The children that have done it this year obviously progress next year to the next level, so that there's a continuity of learning about their bodies and it's not, and if feelings change. They might know that they have sweaty palms, but they don't really know why, especially in reception, if they're not told that that's one of the early warning signs. And obviously their bodies change the older they get as well.
That's true. And certainly the children, when they get up into the higher end of the school, the older children, I know the school's brought in NSPCC and external people come in, which has been absolutely brilliant because the children have had fun with them, and it's that connection with the community. They know that if they feel that they can't tell somebody, even though they've been told to at school, or they can't tell somebody that's outside, there are phone numbers that they've all learned off. I think they've all told us the numbers off by heart and things. So that's really good. I think that's helped as well.
From our point of view, I think we're going to look at this next year as the base, the starting point, and we're going to thread it through our curriculum for 2014-15. We're going to look at improving on the lessons by jazzing them up a bit, making them more interactive. We'd quite like to get some puppets and dolls in so that we can use those within the lesson as well.
I think now we're more confident with what we're doing. We feel more that we can slightly move away. We've got a brilliant base here, and this is something we can build on. We want to keep this really high profile in the school, so making sure that those parent workshops do continue, the assemblies happen, and that all the children are aware that this is something at St Mary's we learn about, and we're proud about, and we're confident and comfortable talking about.
I think it's important that all the children coming up from reception know what early warning signs are, know what it means, know that they're not alone. They all come up with their 5, which is really important.
The fact that it starts so early on in reception and it's completely integrated across the school is possibly one of the most successful things about it, the most beneficial.
Got it in our curriculum, we've got it in our APR.
It doesn't feel separate, it's completely integrated and normal and successful.
For me personally, one of the biggest key things I got from the safety net, from the parent safety net thing was that it's okay to have whatever feeling you feel. So it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be angry, it's okay to be frustrated, but they're not wrong feelings. That's fine. Everybody has feelings. It's how we deal with them, and it's how your behaviour is as a result of those feelings. So it's learning that feelings are okay, but some behaviours are not. And I think that is the one thing out of all of this that's really helped for me. It's in my mind to think that.